All right. Give it just a few more seconds here. Get some friends in the chat here. Russ, we haven't seen you come play in what 2.5 weeks. No one knew what to expect. I mean, probably gave the best effort you could have asked for them today, but at the end of the day, comes up just short. Any initial thoughts from you on the game today?
Well, if you want to be walked back from the ledge after a crushing overtime loss, I think it's that UConn encountered several things that I think there's a good chance they're not going to encounter again this season. Number one is obviously the long layoff.
Yeah.
They don't expect to have to go on pause again, and knock on wood, they won't. So they won't have to worry about that. Kadari Richmond scoring 17 straight points in the second half for Seton Hall.
Yeah.
I don't think it's reasonable to expect anybody to do that again to UConn this year. That's just outrageous. And to lose RJ Cole, I know he's fouled out before.
Yeah.
But to lose him in a game where so much is being let go, if there were just some circumstances in this game that I didn't expect them to have to deal with. And also the fact that in the first half, this game was only close because Seton Hall hit some ridiculous shots. I mean,
yeah,
it happens. Like, this was about as good of an effort. Well, it's better than any effort I could have possibly expected from this team after the layoff. I just wish it had resulted in a win.
Yeah, no, agree wholeheartedly with you. I mean, I don't think you can knock the effort on anyone on this team today. I mean, through what they've been through the past couple weeks, I mean, it seems like it wasn't until like at some point this week they were able to actually have practice pretty much.
I think it was Thursday.
Yeah. So to go through what they did and really go up with one of the better teams, I think, in the Big East in Seton Hall, I was impressed. I know you want the win here, and UConn had plenty of opportunities to win. I mean, I think the only criticism I really have from today is once again when it came down the stretch, it got a little panicky. You could see Sonogo was the play the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
They took him out of it within the first couple seconds there, and it seems like everyone kind of panicked and no one knew what option B should be there. It seemed like everyone was dialed in on feeding it inside to Adama, which they did the play before and it worked fine. But when he's taken away, it seemed like no one necessarily knew what to do there. And I think RJ Cole being out is a big thing there. Not having a guy like Cole that's a little bit more of a steadying presence and a little more experience there.
Yeah. I think you're right. You're right. That down the stretch, they did panic again, and thinking specifically of that last possession of overtime and the play where RJ put up that bad shot that didn't hit the rim. But if you want to kind of look at it the other way, when they were in the Bahamas, that was how they handled the last 10 minutes of that Auburn game.
Yeah. No,
in addition to the two overtimes and against Michigan State too.
I feel like you have seen this team as the season has gone along progressively get better at closing out games and being better in those last 4 or 5 minutes there, which is something we saw was to be honest, like a complete shit show early in the season.
Yeah, they've gotten better at it. They're still not very good at it, unfortunately. And I think if there's an area where I expected them to be ahead of where they are at this point, it's probably executing down the stretch just because of how experienced this team is.
Yeah.
Now, that said, again, you didn't have Cole in the game on that last possession, and Martin had the ball, and I've only seen the play once, so
yeah,
maybe I'm misremembering, maybe I didn't see it properly, but that seemed to say more to me about Seton Hall's defense than anything UConn did, because they denied the other 4 players on the court the ball, where to the point where Martin really had no option.
Yeah.
Now you could say he shouldn't have picked up his dribble where he did, and you'd be right. You should say that UConn should have been running something to get somebody open, and you're right. But credit to Seton Hall on that possession, big time.
No, I think that's fair there too, and I mean I gotta imagine how gassed these guys were come those
That's
last couple
another
of
thing.
minutes, especially of overtime. Again, having not practiced until Thursday, not only are you going out and competing on the road against a top 25 team in a really tough battle for 40 minutes, you got to throw an extra 5 on there, which at this point probably wasn't very welcomed.
Oh yeah. And then when they went down 4 quickly
Yeah.
in the overtime, I really thought it was over.
Yeah, I thought they were gonna lose in overtime by 10.
And
I mean,
Polly hits a big 3,
yeah.
and look at that. The first broken play that's gone UConn's way in like 5 years.
Yeah.
So that was good to see. I think UConn's owed a few of those.
Yes.
Uh, but you know what? I mean, that's the other thing too. That this team earlier in the season had a tendency to let mistakes snowball.
Yeah.
And in this game, when Seton Hall went on a run, UConn kept coming back at them, particularly in the last couple minutes of regulation and into overtime. So that's something positive that you take from it as well. And listen, end of the day, you step back before the season, you look at the schedule, and you look at what Big East games might be wins, might be losses. I
Yeah.
mean, this is one that you say it'd be very tough to come out of this with a win. And so the fact that they didn't, and it was by 3 points in overtime,
Yeah.
it could be a lot worse. Just go out and beat beat St. John's on Wednesday.
Yeah. No, I think this is one of those losses where you still feel like this team is really good.
Oh yeah.
And I think it reinforces to you that this team is really good. And I mean, I think you could, Dan Hurley was, kind of going on it for the past couple of weeks that all their losses have come when they haven't been at full strength. And, today, all you heard about was guys coming in on minutes limits, which I think kind of went out the door this game because it didn't seem like anyone was really restricted minutes wise.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think Cole might have been.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, there was a part in the second half when they took him out relatively quickly. He looked pretty gassed coming out of the
yeah, that's
coming out
part
of
of what I'm basing it on too. Is
yeah.
that he looked like he was gassed. I think maybe Sonogo was, but his foul trouble kind of took care of that anyway.
Yeah.
Um, but you know what? I didn't expect this team to have to play 5 extra minutes today, and
Yeah.
that they handled it well.
Yeah, agreed. I see we've got our friend Poster Damas here. Let's
Oh, we
bring him
do.
in. And
Oh, there he is.
how's it
How's it going,
going?
guys?
Good, good. So what do you think?
I think I kind of came with no expectations, like the long layoff. Didn't really
Yeah.
practice. We didn't really even know who was going to be available. Like on Monday, I think Carly said maybe 8 guys. Not really feeling it. So to go on the road to Seton Hall, like I said, it's very good. They battled. They kind of got gassed, but still fought through. The end, kind of janky,
Yep.
per usual. But
Yeah.
I mean, that's a tough game regardless. Besides coming off of a COVID pause, guys are sick, minutes limits. I mean, can't really be too disappointed. I would say the one thing that in comparison to rotation wise is do we need to put Rasul Diggins on like a milk carton or something? Because
Yeah, really.
because that's been kind of difficult. But all in all, I mean, like you said, it's kind of regroup and go Wednesday. But I thought it was best of what you could think of. You want to win, but I mean, they fought their ass off.
No, I mean,
sorry, go ahead, Jared.
No, I was just gonna say, coming into this game, just with all things considered, like they easily could have expected them to get run off the court today. Like, the fact that they were up 7 or 9 even at one point in this game was really shocking to me. Like, I know a lot of things are going right. They were hitting shots, which we haven't necessarily seen it as consistently as they were doing today. But this was a game that, as you said, going into the season, you probably marked down at Seton Hall for a loss. Or if anything, you were hoping for a close game like this, and to get it coming off a 2.5-week break. I mean, no one's taking joy in a moral victory or anything here, but kind of best you could ask for outside of a win here today.
Yeah, kind of two things off of what you just said, Jared. Number one, you brought up how they made shots today, and I think my first inclination would have been to say, well, that was lucky. They made shots, and that's why they were in the game, and you can't count on that happening. No, that's what good teams do. Good teams can make shots, and we're just not used to seeing that because we haven't seen that in years. So that's good, and I think we've earned the right to expect that most nights.
They just didn't, and I think this team too, like at times you thought they were going to fold. Like they made plays. I mean, maybe not enough at the end, but those guys had. There's no way these guys were not gassed.
Absolutely.
I feel like there's no. I mean, coming off of normally anything like that. So I mean, Andre Jackson made a couple threes today. I mean, let's.
Yeah.
So besides that,
I think I saw that. I think it was 7 guys on the team made a 3 today.
yeah,
That's crazy.
Which is crazy.
Is that so? A Cook, Polly, Jackson, Cole,
Whaley.
Martin, Whaley hit. Yeah, Whaley
he
banked
hit
one
that
in.
bank in one.
Who's the 7th?
Who am I? Let's see if I get it. Who am I missing?
Hawkins didn't.
Oh,
Gaffney
he did.
didn't.
Hawkins did hit one.
Hawkins did?
Yeah, he hit one.
okay.
He hit a corner 3. Yeah.
Okay.
And
that's
what the
impressive.
team brings to you too. Like when they're fully healthy, I mean, we do have guys that can make shots. That's the thing too. It's really encouraging going forward.
That's the thing. I mean, you've been looking for guys like Polly to heat up a little bit, and I think he was 3 for 4 from 3 today, which is what you want to see from him, man. And a Cook, I mean, a Cook's really become a pretty consistent knockdown corner 3 guy, which is a nice development. That was the one thing I was a little bit surprised about, that you didn't see him as much in the second half as he played early in that first half. But again, it could have been a number of things there.
Yeah. Another thing, kind of subplot of this game, I think Seton Hall needed this game a lot more than UConn did.
Yeah, they blew those 2 home games out of them.
They did, and if UConn had won, Seton Hall would be 1-3 in the Big East with a pair of road games coming up at DePaul and Marquette. Yeah. And DePaul's no automatic win this year. They're going toe-to-toe with Villanova right now. And, of course, Marquette's looked like the 96 Bulls in the last couple of weeks, really since UConn and Creighton beat them. So Seton Hall really needed this game. And now UConn gets St. John's at home and a rematch against Providence. And then that weird stretch where they play Butler twice in 3 days. Yeah. So if they could come out of these next 4 with 3 wins, they're in a really good spot.
Yeah, because look at after you go St. John's, Providence, then it's Butler, Georgetown, DePaul, which certainly opens you up to a nice stretch there where if you can catch some fire and keep playing well, I mean, I don't think looking right now, I know you want that Providence game back, but 1 and 2 at the Big East, all things considered, not the end of the world.
Yeah, but now they need to win 5 of these next 6.
Yeah, I think I agree. To kind of get to where we want to be, agree on that. But yeah, so Joy, you guys see my call, and I'll see you around.
Thanks so much.
Right,
yeah. So looking at the schedule, you got St. John's Wednesday, and I think that's going to be a good game. I know it was an interesting matchup last year that we only got to see once, but I'm excited to see this team back out on the court on Wednesday. See what they're able to take away from today, and hopefully at home, get a nice crowd at Gamble, and you could see what they could do and turn that into some momentum before you go into Providence, Butler, Georgetown, DePaul. And it's kind of crazy when you think about that. Then we're going to be in February already.
Yeah, and Big East wins this year are at such a premium because this league is so deep, and when you get a game like St. John's at home, you need to win that game.
Yeah,
100%. And I mean, listen, St. John's is a solid team. Like, don't get me wrong, but they're 9-4, number 89 in KenPom. That's a win UConn needs. Now I know they played Providence tough. Providence, I think, went on an extended run in the second half of that game today to win by 10. But that's no automatic one. So you have to turn the page really quickly here. And I hope that this team comes out of this game with a little bit more confidence, even though it was a loss, because they showed that despite having the deck stacked against them so much in this game, that they really could have won. I mean, there was a coin flip.
Russ,
they could have won this game.
Maybe I'm wrong here, and we could think about maybe
you're wrong
about that game in the Bahamas. But to me, this might have been the best they've looked all year in some way.
I think there were parts of this game where that's true. I think there were parts of the Marquette game where that's true. Parts of the Auburn game, start to finish. You know what? I think you're probably right, because if you take away really offensively 2 possessions, and defensively, really a couple where they just got cooked by Richmond and Aiken for that matter. Yes. Defensively, this was not their best game. Offensively, though, it might have been. I'll have to see what the points per possession numbers end up being.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if this was their most efficient game.
Yeah, no, for me, it just felt like for the first time really in a while that things just seemed to flow for them a little bit more offensively, that they were getting shots in rhythm. They were playing at a pace that they were comfortable with, which is something we haven't necessarily seen from them. And it's not
Right.
like Seton Hall's a slouch defensively. So it was, to put up 87 points, albeit in overtime against a pretty good Seton Hall defensive team. I think has to go down as one of their better efforts this
Yeah.
year.
And something else to remember too, if you think back a couple of years ago to when UConn was in the American, if they had a road game like this, say at like a good Wichita State team,
Yeah.
and they lost in overtime, that hurts a lot more because UConn was not getting many other chances for a win
Yeah.
like that. With this one, not only is UConn going to get Seton Hall again at home, but they'll get Villanova twice. They'll get Creighton, Xavier, Providence again, whoever else, kind of rises to the top in the Big East, to the
Yeah.
point where this loss isn't going to hurt them one bit on Selection Sunday. The only way it might hurt is in the lack of a win there, but they're going to have so many of other opportunities to make up for it.
Yeah.
And also have that Auburn win is looking better and better by the day.
Yeah, I'd say the 2 Bahamas wins are getting better by the day. I know
Yeah,
VCU.
VCU as well. Good point.
Yeah, VCU's looked pretty good, of late too. So I think you come out of that with 2 solid wins. We'll see what the Bonnies can do once they start
Mhm.
up A10 play, and hopefully that looks like a
Yeah.
decent win. But
VCU hasn't lost since we beat them.
right, yeah, and that included a road win at Dayton, and I know Dayton's
Yep.
kind of been streaky a little bit this year, and
Yeah,
isn't
road win's a
Dayton.
road win. Dayton's a tough place to play.
Yeah, um, yeah. So all in all, I left this game feeling better than I did going into it. If you could say that
Oh,
despite losing a game, I think.
I I will leave this chat feeling better than I did going in.
There we go.
Not necessarily the game,
I
because
might have to send
that
you
was
an
very
invoice for
crushing,
that. I
but
gotta send you an invoice for
the
that. Yeah.
group therapy is helping. Thank
Going
you for
for
letting me talk it out here.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm here for. Small hourly fee
Yeah.
here. But as you head down and look at the schedule coming up, is there a thing or two you're really looking to see this team do if they want to take that next step and really be one of those teams that can compete for the Big East? I thought it was interesting this week. Seth Davis had UConn as his one bye plus team as
Mhm.
the team that he's really high on it, and he even said that in the description there that he picked them to win the Big East. And I
Yeah.
think today was kind of one of the first times I felt like this team really had a feel that they could go win the Big East if they could play like this, even though they didn't pull out the win.
Yeah, for a team that's 1-2 in the Big East, it feels like they can win it,
Yeah,
which is wild. Now, they're 2 games back of Providence now, if you're going by the league standings. So it is gonna be tough, but they get Providence again.
yeah,
Now, I think if you're asking me what I'm looking for, no more bad losses.
yeah,
None. And technically, I guess Providence isn't a bad loss because they're a good team, but the way it happened, it's a bad loss.
yeah,
Um, win every game you're supposed to win and take your chances with the others. Do that, and whether they finish first, second, or third, I'm happy.
yeah,
And I think you're absolutely right. This team can win the Big East. They will need to probably pick off Villanova once and probably win that return game against Seton Hall.
yeah.
Um, but I've seen no reason to think that that can't happen.
No, agreed wholeheartedly. As the years gone on, and as they picked it up, especially, I really liked what I saw in the game against Marquette, and it seemed like they were starting to put some things together, which is why the pause kind of came in a bit of an unfortunate time for
Yeah.
them too, when it seemed like it was really starting to click. I mean, the one benefit is now you get Xavier, and you hopefully have Adama
Yeah,
Sanogo healthier, and you got some of these.
that Xavier game had loss written all over it.
Yeah,
So
so
I am kind of glad that game didn't happen.
but now you get them definitely at a little bit more full strength here. But I like what I've seen. We'll see what the next couple of weeks look like for this team, but we're gonna have a lot of basketball, condensed into definitely a little bit more of a shorter time frame. So I'm excited for that. I'll take that.
Oh, yeah, I'll take that too. And just fingers crossed, no more stops, no
Yeah,
injuries when you're playing so many games in a short period of time.
yeah,
Let's get the women's team healthy again so they can get going. And it's going to be a great January and February.
yeah, exactly. All leading up to an even better March, hopefully.
I hope so.
Yeah. Well, Russ, appreciate the time. It was don't know if fun's the right word, but at least we feel a little bit better.
I
We
feel
talked
better.
each other through it. Yeah.
Yeah, we got through it. Thank you everybody for being along for the ride with us, and
Who?
feel free next time if you want to talk through it with us. Be like
Yeah.
Postradamus.
Yeah. Join in. It's fun. We like taking calls, especially when they work. It's even better.
Yeah, which is rare.
Yeah.
Mm.
I've got to ask. Since before we leave, we got to do the Wankies Yankee player of the game, and who are you giving it to?
Oh God, that's a good question. All right, I'm pulling up the stats real quick here.
Yeah.
I mean, if I'm giving it to anybody, it's Kadari Richmond. But if I'm
Yeah.
going to give it to a UConn player, let's go. You know what? Let's go with Sonogo because
I was just
he
gonna
had.
say, did Sonogo have the quietest 18-16 game that's ever happened?
Holy shit! I didn't even realize he had 16. I'm looking at the box score right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did 18 and 16 with 3 blocks, and
And he
this
was
is
in
really his
outcomes.
first real game in
Yeah.
months.
And apparently on a tweaked hamstring.
Yeah. So it's Sonogo, and the fact that he's back is great. One other thing I want though for this team
Yeah.
is to figure out between now and Wednesday what the weird situation was where they couldn't catch the fucking ball in this
Oh,
game. That I had never seen the ball squirt out of guys' hands so many
yeah.
times
Yeah.
for no reason. I don't know
No,
what it
no, it's
was.
great.
Maybe the
Yeah.
ball was slippery. I don't know.
Yeah. No, definitely. I think I've got to agree with you on Sonogo. I'm gonna give a secondary one just so we can throw another guy in there. I'm looking at the box score a little bit now. I might go Andre Jackson. I feel like he's really starting to find himself out on the court a little bit.
Yeah.
These last couple games, he's looking a lot more confident. I know he had the airball 3, but before that one,
he
had
had to make up for the 2 that he made.
Yeah. I mean, he had hit 6 in a row hitting into the airball. So, I mean, if he can develop more of a shot there, I mean, that's a huge plus. But
it's
he's
huge.
playing with confidence.
He is. The thing. So I didn't mean to cut you off. The thing that I would like to see though is he plays ahead of himself a little too much, and we saw it a couple times today where he would come down with the rebound and then try to start going up court before he really secured it, and then he loses it, or makes a bad pass or gets it taken away. Like if he played a little bit more under control,
they're just not at the speed that he's at that time.
Oh, and related to that, if you're 4 feet from the basket, take the damn shot.
Yes. That
was another issue.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I love the rebounds he gets. I don't know how he skies for some of these rebounds that he gets, but he'll get it down and he's going 100 miles up the court. And it's just like, I know you want to get out in transition there, but you got to be a little bit more managed with those.
Mm-hmm.
But he's really showing that he can be a big piece for this team, which is good because they need him. And if you look at the first, 6 or 7 games of the year there, he kind of wasn't doing much. He was stuffing the box score maybe a little bit in some categories, but now he's showing some more offensive abilities and just being able to do a little bit more. So I'll give him the secondary Yankees player of the game.
I like it. I endorse that.
There we go. Well, Russ, have a good one. Get ready for St. John's on Wednesday. Playing Seton Hall and St. John's. I've been getting tongue-tied this whole thing, going back and forth.
I did it. I did it at the beginning. Postradamus did it.
Yeah. They got her next year. They can't schedule Seton Hall and St. John's back to back.
Listen, they're both located in New Jersey.
Yeah.
I'm saying
they got to throw a buffer team in between. Give us like DePaul, so it's someone that doesn't come close off the tongue.
Yeah.
Well, have a good rest of your weekend, and we'll see what happens come Wednesday night.
All right. Hopefully, we're a little bit happier after that one.
Yes. We'll see you later.
Yeah.